No, not right now.
It turns into a muddy ball.
Okay, we're live.
Be careful what you say.
I mean, it just, it's a muddy
What
ball.
you do, and what you say.
I don't know if it's ever gonna stop raining.
It will.
We're still trying to clean up out there south, and everything we get into, we just sink. It's rough out there too.
Well, I know somewhere you can get it out.
Fuse is still burning.
That was good. I like that, Sheriff.
Well, there was, of course, the numbers still running, so today.
Saturday morning, over the two college students. Morning.
Are you,
Good.
positive?
In quarantine,
I got a couple like that. That's mine.
they don't, like I say, 0.2 to 1% mortality rate in that age group. Hey, sure.
But they come home and give it to grandma, who's at 15%.
Yeah.
They don't directly give it to grandma.
She's doing some Canada
Well,
stuff. These are swap the flood. Man, that's nice.
Yeah, they're on the wrong side, aren't they?
What is that, right?
Don't sit down.
No.
Oh, Travis. Travis, what is that?
Bothered me for a while.
Bookends?
They look nice.
I didn't mean to touch you.
That. Did you do that?
Oh, no, I can't draw the quick line. Barely can draw.
Can you draw the stick figures?
I can draw the blue. No, my better half do these. And a bunch of others for.
I like that.
The four-gun stuff.
That's good stuff, man.
I'm here. This is that, yeah,
No, you didn't notice that.
Thought you were absent.
everybody signed off on.
There you go. I've got mine on there.
Thank you. Okay.
Before they all out the afternoon, wait till it's time on the agenda, and it's on the agenda. Just wait till.
We'll call this meeting to order. Young County Commissioners Court, sitting in a regular meeting, excuse me. Matt, you reach in that drawer up there and get that little black button.
I will.
Need new batteries, Judge.
That little thing doesn't shoot very far.
We'll start all over. Meeting come to order, Young County Commissioners Court sitting in a regular meeting Monday, March the 23rd, 2020. It is 9:31 a.m. Make note that this meeting was posted in the manner for the time required. All members of the court are present. We're trying to comply with the distancing rule. I put out an advisory with regard to those to be present, to be, if at all possible, none other than the participants required for the court's business. However, we can't totally comply with that. We do have a video live feed, and I have instructions out there on how to find that. But we do not have interactivity with the public, which would be an issue. We do have one person that wants to address a specific issue, and we'll get with that matter and allow this gentleman to speak his piece on that particular issue in a few moments. Right now, if it's convenient, if you will, please all stand for any discussion or questions. Pray with me. Our Father in heaven, we thank you for all the many blessings you bring to us. We're grateful for this country that we live in, as free a society as there is in the world, with all of its rights and privileges and conveniences that we know. We ask your blessings upon those who stand in harm's way, protecting those rights and privileges that we know, and we ask a special blessing this morning on those medical personnel that are tending to all of the people that have illnesses, and especially at this time of challenge, I guess I would say, in this country, where we're confronting an invisible enemy that is pandemic, if not epidemic. We ask your blessings upon all those hands that are ministering for all those people. We ask your blessings on our officials who are trying to slow down and defeat this enemy. We ask your blessings upon this nation, this state, this county, all the communities herein. We ask for your guidance in these matters, that we make the proper decisions, and that we move forward with your wisdom and your judgment. We ask you bless this meeting and the decisions that we make. We ask these in the name of Christ our Savior. Amen.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible.
Item number 3, public comments, announcements, presentations. The only thing I have on here is a copy of the governor's executive order of March 19th, 2020. He has since then executed additional orders. Don't have those in the packet, but I'm sure everyone is knowledgeable of those orders. Greg, if you'd like to say something with regards to our current status, the tornado status out south bend, south and southeastern parts of the county, also an update on our circumstances with COVID-19.
Yes, sir. Morning, everyone. It's been a long weekend since Wednesday night, but again, thanks to everybody it's just been unbelievable. It really has. Every day I send in a sit rep, we had to change the time as earlier, it's at 1400, 2 p.m. every day. If y'all would like to be included in that, give me your emails. It's sensitive information, right? That's all I want to say about that. But it's all the COVID reports and tornado disaster recovery. And I'll just go, this is Friday, COVID test sent 1 on 18 March, 12, 14 to 17 March. All tests are negative, 1 in STAR form submitted, that is request for supplies from a medical staff. There's been 2. I'll cover tornado disaster. I've been on site down there multiple times along with Matt. He's been running the front end loader down there. Thank you, God bless you. All displaced personnel have shelter, electricity has been reestablished. There's a small ICP or incident command post and a local store. Cleanup debris removal continues. I requested mental health for the individuals and families down there, which of note, it has been completed. Brandon and Carrie Bates of Graham have volunteered to see individuals or groups, so they can contact them. I sent the numbers to Steve Rieger, he's the IC or incident commander on site down there. And then Donna Atwood is on Rosser Ranch Road. She's a point of contact. I sent the numbers to both of them and asked them to please pass them out to those individuals. American Red Cross they've been on site, completed their assessment. They handed out debit cards to each individual families. First Baptist Church arrived, soup wagon. Chow has been constant. Again, help's been constant. Volunteers are working on the debris. Much of the debris has been piled and is in the process of burning. I took my drone down, I think it was Friday, and I flew Finest Road, South Bend, and Rosser Ranch Road so I could send it to state, and then personnel from the NOAA and National Weather Service requested that, and I told them I had it, so I get that to them. I coordinated some roof material to be delivered Saturday morning, and of note, local Dave Merrill that owns Texoma Foam, he volunteered to take poly and felt down there to cover roofs that needed it because the rain was coming. And then High Ridge Men Group, they also pitched in. Porta potties were delivered. Mr. Gary Oliver that owns Mobile Thrones, he donated those for the time being.
Greg, were you able to make it to Dark Canyon, Greg?
I did go through there Friday, yes, sir. I don't have a point of contact there. Donna said she was bouncing back and forth. So I told them anything they need sent.
I can give you one if you need.
Yes, sir. Thanks. Cleanup continues, morale is high. It really is. We also had dumpsters brought and donated, so they're filling them, dumping them.
Thank you, Kramer, for that. Kramer did that.
Yes, sir, Mr. Kramer. I do have, and you may have already heard this, but this is as of 0800 this morning from the state. Pardon me. COVID-19, current situation, current sit. Governor signed executive order for hospitals that increase unused bed capacity without submitting an application or associated fees. So they're just trying to open up bed space in the event we need it. I've also coordinated with the state, FEMA. They have mobile hospital units, much like we used in the Army. They're called CASH. They're environmentally controlled, so if we need them, we got them. We'll get them in here. As of 0800 this morning, no reported cases in Young County of COVID-19. 5 positive in Wichita Falls, I believe 2 in Abilene.
How many tests are pending?
Yes, sir.
How many tests are pending? in Young
I don't, in Young County, there's one test pending. 14 negative, 1 Guidelines from the President and the CDC, every person in Texas shall avoid social gatherings and groups of more than 10 people. And one more to note, U.S. Small Business Administration, SBA, has included the entire state of Texas in its Economic Injury Disaster Declaration and granted access to its Economic Injury Disaster Loan, the EIDL program. So you can put that out to folks, small business owners and others alike concerned. That means you can call me. One thing that I just ask of commissioners and all of our citizens in Young County is pay attention. Grocery stores, I've talked to all of them, Albany, Graham, all in between, to please be frugal, and for the managers to limit what people are buying. And about 98% of them are doing a great job. So they're managing it. There's maybe one here in Graham that's, I've been in, I try to make them twice a day just to get a visual on what's going on. And there's one large one that's pretty much not doing anything. So we just need to police that up.
The problem we've got in that area is we got people from other
Yes,
towns coming.
communities, yes, sir.
And they're not just bringing pickups and cars, they're bringing enclosed trailers.
Trailers. I saw several in the
Yes.
parking lot.
But a lot, I mean, these, from what I've seen, R2, Walmart, and United are both limited
Yes.
purchases of stuff, so they are, doing what they're supposed to do.
You got
And that's one thing, we're all thanking the nurses and all that, God bless them. Man, thank you for the Walmart workers and the United workers for staying there and going through this for us.
And I think that
That's a brave
every
people.
time I go in,
Mhm.
I'll get
Me
little
too.
groups together and with the managers
Yeah.
and pray.
They're
And
on-
pray with them.
Yeah, they're in the trenches right now,
They are.
for us.
There are medical personnel and all these
Yeah.
folks in these stores.
Did you have one casualty at United?
Yes, sir. Sometime last week, one of the stalkers, they were all in a mad rush to get something and ran over his ankle, and they still don't know whether it's broke or not. That's why now they have us standing out there, kind of at the cash registers, slowing them down.
Is there large groups of people congregating in front of these establishments?
No.
You know, it's slowed down, that seems like a little bit.
Because Metroplex is huge groups of people standing outside the door waiting to get in.
Well, 7 o'clock yesterday morning, there was probably 20
More than 10.
at front of the door at United.
Right. They will only let 10 in at a time if they're congregating groups of 20.
Yeah.
And they're closer than 6 foot apart.
Yes, sir. Yeah. But again, just be aware of restaurants and bars, all right? They're supposed to be closed, gyms, spas, so on and so forth. And I'm gonna close with this. Again, I wanna thank our first responders, doggone sheriff, fire, EMTs. They kicked it Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. And now they're shifting gears back to other things that they gotta do. It was impressive. Thanks, Sheriff. Thanks, you guys.
Hey, did you say something about a request for medical equipment?
Yes, sir, it's called a STAR form.
Okay, and you did that for Young County.
Yes, they send them to me, the hospitals in Young County, and then I forward them directly to the EOC, the Emergency Operations Center. And then they get prioritized, and then they get set up.
Okay, so that request has been made.
Yes, sir.
Different types of medical equipment.
Yes, sir. Drugs, masks, gloves, gowns, syringes, whatever medical needs that they have.
Is the Graham Hospital overrun by people who just want the test?
No, sir, they have a very good triage set up. For now, and I can send you, there's 3 elements that we're using to classify these folks. Their temperature and the other things that they may be experiencing, so shortness of breath, fever, those type of things.
I just had a report that there's overwhelmed out there. People
I talked to
It's
the
over
news.
now.
Yeah.
Don't listen to Facebook.
I talked to the
You know, that's one thing the president has been spanking the people over in the news media, telling them, you know, quit putting this out. Y'all the reason we've had
Yes.
the problem we're having is right there.
Well, you put it to them too the other
It's
day.
exactly what it's doing.
But I talk to Doc Martin, our AHO, every day, and he's in charge of all our medical staff in Young County. So they're doing well.
Thanks for your help there.
Oh, yes, sir. Pleasure. Thanks.
If I might say something, please,
If you'd
so
like
far
to.
as, please. So far as the business community is concerned, I'm in touch with what's going on with restaurant, bar, that kind of thing. Income is obviously way down for these establishments. It's gonna hurt. The only way to offset a 50% loss of income, which is where it's at currently, is going to be to reduce manpower, reduce payroll. That means putting more people at home with no cash flow coming to the house. If you have an opportunity to purchase locally, and what I mean by locally is people who have their name on the tax rolls and who have local money invested in their businesses, make sure that you get that money to them. A lot of businesses are not going to survive this. And I kind of understand it and kind of don't, but, you know, I just wish everyone would understand that these businesses and the economy of Graham is very fragile to begin with, and this is going to push a lot of folks over the edge. So take that into consideration when you need goods and services, especially restaurants. Go by, pick it up. You know, call it in, pick it up, let them deliver it to you, those that are delivering. Those that are delivering have never delivered before, a lot of them. And that is an additional expense. I don't know whether with the volume to pay that expense. And I don't know what's gonna happen if one of their drivers runs over somebody. You got the liability question out there. So, once again, pray for this country and pray for your community and use your community. If you've got $1 to spend, try to spend it in Young County with a local owner and try to keep that money here as long as we can. It's a bad situation. I don't relish giving up my civil liberties. I don't relish giving up my rights. Basically, we're in a nonviolent kind of martial law situation right now. And, you know, the authorities are telling you how to live, and we're just going to have to cope with it for a while. So, anyway, I promised some folks that have businesses that I would say something publicly about that.
Also too, when you do support those businesses, it helps the food flow of the food that's going around, and whether it's in the grocery stores or coming from other areas also. So it balances out.
You will, then?
I will not.
I was listening about South Bend now. South Bend, I appreciate Jimmy and Michael both checking on me. I appreciate that, and Greg coming out there and helping us, and of course Travis. But right now, most of those homes that were totally damaged, most of those people had no insurance. So be praying for them. If there's anybody that would like to help these families out, I don't know what we're doing yet, but I want to also personally thank Larry and Karen Pratt. They have been just totally awesome. We've worked together, and it's been great. It's been not great, but you know what I'm saying? It's been a real community out there. Everybody's just kind of bonding together. We still got a lot of cleaning up to do. We don't know what to do with the metal. Anybody got any suggestions to do with all this tin and metal out there?
Pile it up.
Yeah, we're piling it up, and I don't know what to do with it, because or how to haul it off or anything right
Does
now.
Kevin not want
We
it?
got wood, huh?
Does Kevin not want it? At our salvage yard?
I don't know. I haven't talked to Kevin.
He'd probably take metal if he could.
But they said tin's going to nothing.
It is 10. Metal right now is bottomed out.
Yeah,
We just need
but
to
we
get
just need to
it.
get it away with. I don't care if it's, anybody
The price
can come
of it
and
is
take
right
it,
there.
yeah. It's just in the way.
If you get it over there, we get it.
All right, we'll figure something out. Might have to have some help with some dump trucks. But yeah, we got a lot of metal.
Let me know.
A lot of metal, but we're piling up the wood, like you said, we're trying to burn it right now. Pretty wet.
Yeah.
But anyway, but things are going as good as can be out there. I think our only injury, or we had 2 injuries, but one guy's still in the hospital.
4 total. I didn't put that out, I'm sorry, but apologize. There were 5 homes total loss, 16 damaged that are uninhabitable except 2, I believe, and 4 injuries.
We had at least 2 total on Rosser Ranch Road and 1 total on top of our canyon. Okay? And that's not counting the roofs that are missing.
Yeah.
And the personal property scattered everywhere. We're going out there right now and taking all the debris off the side of the roads and get where all the service trucks and the emergency vehicles can get through. We're trying to let the people who have their personal belongings scattered all over creation gather up what they feel is important to gather up. And then what they deem as trash, we'll pick it up at a future date after we pick up. So right now, we're cleaning up a lot of brush and trees. There's a great deal of tree damage, a great deal of tree damage. Along with that, fence damage, that sort of thing. Stopping up of waterways, those kind of things, so.
The Excalibur container did say people whose homes were lost, that they would give
Probably
them,
living units.
they would give them a container to store their stuff in or whatever they need. It's free.
That's good.
So,
Goes out Rosser Ranch Road, I
there you
think they
go, once
have
again, the Young County thing, Excalibur is helping out.
personal stuff scattered over 80 or 90 acres.
Yeah.
Wouldn't you say, sir?
It's
At least that much.
It's miles.
It is.
And I'm just gonna reiterate this again, folks, it's critical that at any time it's been through a traumatic experience, that they go see the Bates or get your pastors down there to talk. I've talked to several of them over several days, and they need it, all right? They need it, so just get them there, their doors are open, their arms are open.
Yeah.
Just a story, one couple out on Rosser Ranch Road, he was sitting out watching thunderstorms, which a lot of us sometimes like to do. She went to the back porch to get him in. About that time, the lightning flashed and the tornado was right in their face.
Yeah.
All they had time to do was get in the stairwell. And she told me that they'd always talked about going together and they thought that this was the time. But when they walked out, the stairwell they were under was just basically all that was
All that's left.
Yeah. So God is good. He's everywhere.
Well, God protected that lady over there. Oh, the house was totally damaged.
It
There's
was
a
a
fan right there on the corner of her house.
I heard it was.
Yes, she ain't gonna go. Lucky lady. And I wanna thank my guys too. My guys been working hours and hours and hours overtime, so,
Our whole community.
yeah. Anyway.
One little bit addition to that, conversation with regard to people waiting in line, things like that, I did notice 2 or 3 ordinary delis, especially morning breakfast delis, were not operating this morning. I don't think these orders pertain to them. I think they can operate, and if they maintain that 10-person rule, and they can't have 10 people standing in there waiting in line for an order that they get put in, but they won't go in there and pick up something out of the deli case that is pre-prepared and made. I think they can do that, just walk in and out with that. I don't think it's gonna affect them. I've had that question asked to me last week, told them that I thought that's how that would play out, and I believe that it did, but still, there's 2 or 3 that, they didn't have any, they had no product in their deli cases, their warmers or anything this morning, so they can.
Is there any criminal or civil penalties now for not abiding by rules?
Well, if there's violations that are documented and whatnot, if they violate the governor's orders, they will be transferred or referred to the Texas Department of Emergency Management. And they'll be according to the state plan, the fines and fees and the prosecution will be required by that. If they're local, they will be looked at as a Class B misdemeanor and prosecuted likewise. Mr. McDowell, you'd like to say something?
I'd like to ask a question. This gentleman right here was talking about the distancing, and we're all distancing here. That's not happening at the grocery stores. Is it, I mean, I assume it's supposed to be. Is that all voluntary?
That's involuntary.
That's exactly what I said.
Order. It's a request that they respect that, but I don't know if there's any guarantee.
Well, they're not, I'm just wondering if voluntary. I'm like him, I'm shopping for 4 different households because they're all 70 and above, and I'm making the grocery store twice a day to find various food products. And, they're not at all observing the distancing. Now, they are on the toilet paper aisle at Walmart, they've got them blocked off, letting people in, but the line to get on the toilet paper aisle, you're just like this. I'm just asking, Judge, I'm not volunteering any solutions or anything, I'm just asking a question.
Well, I think, everybody just needs to kind of settle down and let's get out of the panic mode into
I
the
agree.
reason and judgment of what you do. And I think most people are doing that. Obviously, there's some certain situations that you get in that, have the ability to pass one another 6 feet away, you might have to be a little closer than that. We're going to use reason and judgment. We expect everybody else to also. And I think that'd be the case with whether or not there were criminal prosecutions against that.
Just gonna add a little bit about what you were saying, if we catch anybody breaking the law, like burglaries or thefts or whatnot, we're gonna enhance the charges.
The next
They
step,
came from upstairs.
next step in that, in my mind, would be the shelter in place mandate. That's probably the next thing that's coming along the lines of this. I don't know whether it will or not, but it's very likely to.
Well, that's what the governor said in his speech. He said people right now are pretty well trying to adhere to what they're putting out. He said, but if you get to a point that you don't adhere, then we'll go to stricter measures than what we're at right now. Dallas County's already done that.
I think we have anything about that.
I'd just like to say this, and I talk to a lot of people every day that as leaders in this community, and you can reconfirm that with them and our citizens, we just have to be smart about things, folks, and use common sense, like the judge said. It's okay to say something to someone, but just be nice about it. Don't be critical about it. And if they don't want to adhere to it, then you make sure you have your 6 foot. And if there's 10 people in a group, just remind folks, people are scared, all right? There's the fear factor out there, and they forget, and especially when they come to get groceries or toilet paper or gas or whatever the case. It's upon us in this county to make sure folks are doing the right thing. I don't see a problem with people doing business as long as they adhere to what's been put out there. Let them serve food and let them do what they need to do to stay afloat, but we just have to be smart about it.
We're thankful for, even though there was pretty extreme damages in certain locations, two or three locations on the tornado there, we got by without loss of life, as far as I know, any livestock. But, or at least I haven't heard of that, and damage could have been so much more, so much greater, so we're thankful for that. And we're thankful also that out of the 15 or 16 tests submitted to the laboratories, all of them come back negative, and just one pending, is that right? Still one pending, so, I feel blessed. Okay, is there anything other than those public comments, announcements, presentations?
What are we gonna do on courts?
Excuse me?
What are we gonna do on courts? Deals?
Well, the district courts have, although they're doing a little up there, they basically, I guess you'd say postponed their court scheduling indefinitely, for the most part. This court we won't have court, we didn't have court last Wednesday, we won't have court this Wednesday. And that's not because of COVID-19, it was planned that way from our scheduling last fall. Chris was out last week, and I was to be out this week, but that education thing has been canceled or postponed, and so I'll still be here. Our next court date is April the 1st. We'll probably still try to have that date, but we're breaking our dockets up into a lot smaller segments. And there may be that if we go to multiple days to hear different topics, just to cut down on those that are present for these different times, instead of setting our dockets basically all at one time, that from 1 minute to the next, it'll be set on dockets at least an hour apart, give us time to proceed with 8 or 10, and we'll move to another docket. May have 3 or 4 dockets in a day's time, but it'll be spread out a lot longer.
Where are these people coming?
Excuse me?
Where are they coming from? The lawyers and stuff, where are they coming from?
What do you mean?
Where are they coming from to do the court? People coming in the court.
Wichita.
Wicks.
Inventory possibilities.
You mean distances traveled?
Where are they, what towns are they coming from to be a part of the court?
Well, if they've got a long distance to travel, and they have attorneys, they will be filing continuances, in which they'll be granting to another day. Those that are local and those that are not the great distance, you know. Obviously, if we've got one coming from Wichita County, we might discontinue that on the courts on motion. Or if we've got one coming from Fort Worth or Dallas, you know.
That's good.
And we've already done some of that, rescheduling like that. We're gonna reduce our docket load, per setting, do a whole lot lesser dockets.
What's JP doing downstairs?
I've heard him say, I'm gonna do what
He's canceling his court till sometime. I happen to be on the docket now. You talking about the JP?
Yes.
I got a letter the other day, I've got a case down there, and I got a notice that at least till April 14th.
probate court, we're about to have probate court, I can't shut that thing.
Commissioner Wiley, that's a good point about people outside where the incidences are much higher.
We don't wanna bring people that's where the
No, but
infection is.
as it gets worse over there, we're gonna start having family come out there and
Yeah.
visiting us.
Court's got to be open for juvenile issues and for mental health issues, along with that, which is classified as probate matters.
That's a question too. Well, what about juveniles or, I mean, is that just kind of stop, they have to be held somewhere? They're just stopping right now?
Well, we talked about that, Eve and I talked about that a little bit. There is provision, if they can be separated, to hold one in our local jail. As far as, we won't be taking anybody to Wichita, or we'll move in that direction until.
I was just gonna talk about that.
They won't take anybody, I don't think they'll take any.
Yeah, I was wondering that too.
Just say again, those crimes committed in this time period are gonna be enhanced.
Absolutely. I think the technology we got today, though, I think would be a good way of utilizing some of it. If you can magistrate through technology, you ought to do other things through technology.
Thanks to Baylor, he's doing that right now.
You know, anything that would
Good job at it.
adhere from distancing.
This, I'm pretty sure that one of our JPs is already set up, and I don't both of them may be set up as regional magistrates.
Yeah, is Dan doing all the
Dan's
magistrations?
doing all of them for right now.
That's what I thought. Yeah. So that's good.
Absolutely.
I'll have to go down there and borrow one of them tools if I do one.
I'll help.
I don't have that yet here.
Judge, one last thing, I'll be up briefing the city council for Aldi this evening at 6 p.m. They'd asked me to come give it.
Very good, Will. I'm also blessed to have Greg as our EMC. He does a great job, he's organized, right on top of it all the time. I can't praise him enough. Okay, with the court's consideration, if you will, let's jump down here to item number 9. That will be discussed, consider large gathering of court battle mount, through it. I know this Gary McDowell here wants to make some comments with regard to that particular item. We do what we're going to do with that. And then we get on to business and how about it if he needs to.
Yep. Hang on, I think he's gonna get Jim for me. Thank you.
Please get excellent distance if you can.
Yeah, Blake, what is this, the Fort Belknap, called Edison Cannon,
Yeah, we've canceled that.
you canceled it?
Yeah,
Okay,
Is
well,
that
I was
okay?
gonna say, instead of canceling it, Jim, can we just not postpone it to like first of May and see what's
Well, the
going
problem
on?
is, because there were so many contracts with it, you got a lot of people coming from out of it.
Right,
And that was really more of a decision by the chamber than it was.
okay.
I'm okay with that, I mean, that's a smart thing. to do.
CDB did that.
That's set
That was
for
easy.
August, for April the 11th. Have you done anything, or the chamber done anything with regard to postponement or
Yeah,
cancellation?
we canceled it, we canceled it.
Cause I looked on the website the other day, and that's why I put it on the agenda, and it was canceled.
Yeah, they had an emergency, whatever, and I got a text message.
May not have been removed off the internet.
So, but the other issue is the family reunions. April's a busy month out at the fort, and most of the family reunions have called and have either postponed or canceled, but I've got a few, two, that haven't done anything yet, and it's kind of my question when it comes to this different.
This one might be all right if they hold less than 10 or less.
Well, that's the problem, because if it gets below 30, they don't have them anyway, you know,
Yeah.
so,
Family reunion.
and the thing is, I've had, one family called and they just kind of asked my suggestion, and that was right after you issued the, and I kind of said, well, what we're doing here in the county is probably smart just to cancel it, or let's look at another date, postpone it further back, and go from there. I guess my question is, do I need to call those other family reunions and tell them, just talk to them about that and say, can we either cancel it or postpone it?
I think that'd be the smart thing.
Yeah, I think that'd be in line, I think that's what all happened, yeah.
Okay,
We
and then,
can't go on and let them
Right. Yeah.
do those things.
There's that important
County organization,
Sure,
and
yeah.
tell everybody else they can. So,
well, it kind of leads into, most of the visitors, these last 2 weeks, I think with spring break and people not understanding the severity of what's going on, we were really, really busy week before last. This week has turned out to be the same, or this last week turned out to be the same. With people coming out to most of our people that are traveling out there are from, the Metroplex. We're just kind of seeking some advisement on what we
Please
need to
close
do.
that up. So please close that up.
Okay. So, the,
Yeah, you're right.
well, what I've kind of looked at what the state, what the state's done with the Texas Historical Commission, with their properties, Texas Parks and Wildlife. They're closing all the buildings, nobody coming to the buildings, but the grounds are still open. Is that an option for us? Just for the ones that want to drive? I don't want to shut that front gate, is kind of what I'm getting at.
I will, but I just, can we leave the gate open so people can drive through and have a sign up on the museum saying,
Yeah, do that with, like, the closed buildings and.
sure.
Yeah.
That would be,
any
The
facility.
the open air space allowed. but-
Yeah,
Because I'm going through,
just lock everything down.
we're going through Lyson Beach like crazy.
But like you said, make it
Sign,
sign.
say, coronavirus
Yeah,
You know,
mandates.
that was my own concerns
And
and.
then we'll open you up, we all feel, we'll open it
Until
back
further
up.
notice.
Whenever crisis ends,
Yeah.
we start going the other direction, I'm sure. Probably be
They have websites where you can go to.
aggressive, we got to take it all the way at once.
Yeah, we'll do our Facebook page, I'll post on that for
Where
sure.
it's closed, maybe keep some of the traffic coming in.
And the thing that kind of keyed me in on this was the amount of calls I was getting about, are y'all still open? Because Fort Richardson and Fort Griffin are both closed and stuff, it's kind of like,
I just follow suit to what they do, shut her down.
Yep.
That's just as much for your family as it is.
And like you said, let's leave it where they can drive around, but everything's closed, locked.
that's what I need.
Would you like for us to, or can we make you a sign, hang on the door?
If she wants to, I was just gonna print out your imminent disaster, what, that thing that you pursuant to this, all the buildings will be closed.
We've got a local declaration here, Fifth Court. I'm sure, I feel like they'll continue. We've got a local declaration here in a few minutes that we'll get to be ratified, if you will. And then the governor's got he's got two different executive orders out there that are, I don't say they override that, but were parts that they might conflict.
Sure.
It overrides, but
Okay.
you know, and there could be more regulations after the one that we passed if it's continuing.
Well, what if I do this, if I can get in touch with Fort Griffin and have them send over the document through you and change out Fort Griffin and just put Fort Bell in.
I just make it refer to the local declaration of disaster and governor's executive orders.
I can do that. All right.
Say something.
We live in quarantine out there anyway.
A little bit, yes.
I got nothing to say, John. All my questions been answered.
Handling it right.
Thank y'all.
You saying something in the paper, like I said, or something, and that's something we
Gotta
don't
try to
have to
make
put
it
in the newspaper also. I'll do that.
And you're doing a great job out there, young man.
Thank you.
Don't forget that.
That's the most important.
Thank you.
The red man,
Yeah, I'll move that the court close, Fort Bell buildings to
Public.
close to the public, premises, the Ford outdoors still open,
I'll second that.
all the buildings. Including that also council law regulations that are currently pending. Is that all right, ma'am?
Yes, sir. Sounds great to me.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Back to item number 3A. Discuss, consider renewal, continuance of the local declaration of imminent disaster. I have here a motion that I'll place before the court. I move the court to ratify this declaration of disaster issued Tuesday, March 17th, and that upon certification of continuous additional directives may be issued as necessary and shall continue in effect until terminated by the county judge.
Does
For discussion.
the order that the governor has put in place, it's different, it's got some difference than you have on there. The order that the governor put in place has got some things that are different than your stuff.
No, I think the governor's orders are generally stronger than the mandates that I put in this. Now, I left, I didn't waive, went back to those and putting stronger mandates in the things that are addressed in it. But I think generally speaking, his orders kind of overrode the lesser ones that I included in the
So why don't we just stay with his right now?
Because I think that this order gives us the ability to apply for those resources
Yes.
that we need through the state, and his, just abiding by his alone won't do that. So we've got to have this one as our ticket into those resources and the ability to apply for
Do
those.
what we do.
If we don't ratify this, it goes away tomorrow by noon.
And I did pick up with you a lot, because they were like, I had 100 calls. Well, y'all can't shut down churches. I said, if you read it, it says should.
Advisory.
It doesn't say you shall, it says you should.
Where the
So they were
The
jumping.
governor says
The
shall.
governor says shall.
Yeah, no, I'm saying what his said.
Yeah.
I
His
know
said
that the
should.
governors will override what they're doing.
Exactly, and that's where I was going with that, and the governor's does override that, and that's what the judge was saying right there. So what he's basically saying is, we got this declaration, but the governor's does supersede what we got.
Right. But ours is different because it allows us to
Right.
use resources.
Right.
Locally can go further than the governor did.
They can. But
But
there's one
if it's
thing,
not there, we can.
Right.
there's one thing I would like to do as a commissioner. I know you have the role and you have the right to put these in place. But I think as a group of men at this court, I think if we was to sit down and work together on it, and we could help with the community, get the word out, and get the things out where people wouldn't be going 200 phone calls, why?
Yeah.
I think that we could make it work better.
Well, no, I'm not gonna go there, Jimmy. It's pretty clear, there who makes the call on whether we go or not. And most of the times, it's, not something that you need to delay consideration on. You need to act immediately. You need to act with haste and intent. So, it's 418 specifically gives that authority to the county judge, and that's where it needs to stay.
Well, I
You have
don't,
the initial declaration, the court has the authority to continue it or allow it to die. If you renew, if you don't, then it dies here.
You know, John, I'm not disagreeing that you don't have the right to do it. But there's one thing I do know in a situation like this, and Greg, you tell me if I'm wrong or not. When we have a situation like this, whether it's as catastrophic as this is, or something even smaller, if we work together in unity and as a group to make decisions, it makes more sense. The President of the United States don't make a decision based on his own thought, his own ideas, even though he has the right to.
You don't think that I don't consult with somebody before I did this?
I'm not saying that you didn't,
He
John.
does.
You may have consulted with somebody, but we're the people here that's out there in the world everywhere and talking to it also.
Well, Judge, let me put this out to the commissioners. The decisions that the judge makes are with a group of, right now, primarily are medical professionals. They're the ones at the tip of the spear. They're connected, I'm connected, and the decisions are made for this county as a whole and to protect every citizen here. And I mean, there's no single source decisions. We use a decision-making process that best benefits everyone here. That's all.
May I address the court?
Mr. McDowell, you'd like to say something?
These laws are written for a reason. This body in the past has seemed like chosen to make laws up as they want to, or for whatever seemed like pandering time or two to me. but I believe you have the authority. I don't believe you should relinquish it. I'm the only one in the public here right now, but I'm sure I'm not the only one that feels that way. So y'all do what you want to, but the law is written for a certain reason, and y'all don't have the right to change the law.
I don't think we've ever
We
changed the law,
won't
sir.
change no law.
I've never changed the law ever.
That's not the process of changing the law.
I'm gonna call the question. All those, I need a second before I call the question, if anyone would like to second that motion.
Continuance of this.
Yes.
Second.
So we have a motion and a second, now I'll call the question. Should Young County continue the declaration of disaster as issued March 17, 2020? All in favor? Aye. All opposed? Any opposed? Is that all, is that 5-0?
But I don't like the comment that we've ever changed the laws. That's not right. I've never done that. I don't think as a court we have done that.
Yeah. If I can say something about that, Judge, I know what Commissioner Wiley is referring to. This law is very invasive in the American psyche about the government intervening and telling you what you can and can't do with your personal property and your personal freedom. And we are being asked at this time to voluntarily hand over our rights that we live by as American citizens and as business owners and as free Americans in this society, and we're being asked to trust the government. They're here to help, right? The government to relinquish their control over us when all of this is over and try not to do us as little harm as possible while we're going through this. I understand that, and I don't like the contents of these declarations either. But in order for us to get the resources, the way the rules are made, whether you're calling them laws or whatever, we don't change laws here. But we do look at them in our own way maybe sometimes. It's like the Supreme Court does. You know, if we have to have that in order to bring resources to this community in the event of a catastrophic, I mean, I've said here many times and said, why don't we spend this $1,000 if it saves one life, it'll be worth it. That kind of reasoning is, you can't argue with it. Not that it has a real basis of truth, because you can't spend enough money to save everybody. And we can't possibly, it's like we were talking about, in the stores they're crowding up together, outside the stores. We've got parents bringing their grandchildren out of the Metroplex because of what's going on over there and leaving them here. And as the time goes on and things get worse over there, we're going to have more of that importation of population. People bringing covered trailers to buy goods that are available here and not available in the Metroplex. There's a black market that's starting. You know? I looked on the internet this morning. You can buy toilet paper on the internet if you're willing to pay $2.35 a roll for it.
Yeah, that's going on.
Free shipping. Okay? Some people buy anything with free shipping, no matter what the price is. And I understand where, because I feel the same way, Commissioner. But I understand also that, man, it stinks, but we got to hold our nose and do it. Especially if you tend to be a little more on the conservative, libertarian side of things, a little bit. That flag means something to me. And but we've got to do what we got to do right now. The barbarians are at the gate. So here we go. Sheriff, I don't envy your position. You know, you can't fill your jail full of criminals right now, not knowing whether or not they're carrying something they shouldn't be carrying. But those enhanced penalties are gonna force you to put more people in that jail,
Well, it's coming.
you know?
And I don't think government's really I don't care if it's Republican, Democrat, Independent, whatever, we're all people. And I think that honestly, the governor and the judge is looking out for everybody right now. And a lot of people were worried about the churches, but the churches have taken care of themselves, and the churches are so smart. You know, they did video broadcasts. Faith Center did what, like a drive-in church, so people still get to go to church, they're still getting to praise God, so, you know, it's all working out. And I know wonder people were,
And that was the reason for a 5-0 vote just a second ago.
yeah, there you go. So, anyway, things will work out, and I think we're all gonna come together better. Said by the wise man, I think.
Obviously, not any one of us is control. There's only one.
The what?
There's only one that's in control.
That's right.
Under there.
Yes, sir.
Ready to move on?
I'm ready.
Item number 4, consider the county clerk's minutes of previous meeting, March the 9th and March the 16th respectively. Were there any additions, deletions, or corrections that should be made?
So moved.
Second.
Have a motion by Commissioner Wiley, second by Commissioner Rogers to approve those minutes as presented. All in favor?
Aye.
Item number 5 is consider treasurer's financial report, updates on security pledges. I don't think we've got anything in there on this. No action there. Item number 6, consider all budget amendments. There are no amendments that I know of. Voucher payable, I have here, I think y'all have reviewed all the vouchers payable. Entertaining a motion to approve those vouchers as presented.
So moved.
I'll second.
We have a motion by Commissioner Wiley, second by Commissioner Sykes to approve the vouchers payable as presented. All in favor? There's a point on here, I don't know if Jason, he might
Is
visit.
that something? You must have something.
Is Jason?
There it is.
You must have something.
Thank you, Sheriff.
You're welcome. You're our bailiff.
You went back downstairs.
Well, the request is, there's been changing, I guess you would say, of employees down in the JP one's office. There's one brand new one there. There's one that's been there for long as well. Who's been there, the second person in the office. Joanne said, I believe, to move last this month to move on. Jason has made a request that we add enough money into the payroll to keep Joanne on and pay the current salary for an additional 2 weeks. I think we pay here, I think it's about what it amount to, maybe just over. But a total of $4,943 could be made available there. We would, she thinks that, Cheryl thinks that there's enough money there to transfer from one to the other, from one department, from our part-time line to accommodate that, but,
So she'll become part-time rather than extension of her employment?
well, there's, an employee is gonna transfer to Jason's office.
Which will fill that full-time position slot,
Phil
so she'll be paid out of the part-time account.
He wants to keep Joanne on for an additional two weeks to
Train.
train.
Okay.
I got what you're
saying.
Yeah.
Training costs, I think that would be fine.
She thinks we can do that without any other than just line item transfer, which is probably correct. So if that's so needed.
I make a motion we do that.
I'll second that.
That was right.
Jimmy?
Second, it was the second. It says down here, Mr. Wiley moves to allow a transfer necessary to JP one employees pay line to accommodate 2 additional weeks of pay for the current employee. I don't know how to state that. Second by Commissioner Simons. All in favor? Item number 7, discuss, consider employee bond, Melissa K. Martin. That's in the adult probation department, a $5,000 bond.
So moved.
Second.
Who's
Approved. Rogers.
I'm motion, you said, yes.
Motion by Commissioner Pruitt, second by Commissioner Rogers to approve the bond as presented. All in favor? That bond, Melissa K. Martin. Okay, number 8 is discuss, consider assisting county clerk, district clerk, and tax assessor collector with purchasing latex gloves, protective barriers. Man, approve.
Yeah, and I mean, the gloves, I think it's their decision. If they want to wear gloves, they can wear gloves. I was talking about the barrier, and it's not just for this COVID-19, it's for flu season. You know, I talked to Nancy's office, I talked to Kate's office, and both of them, and upstairs for Jamie. Is Jamie out there? By the way? Okay. And they said during flu season, people come in and they're hacking and coughing on them. And, you know, they're like, oh, I'm sorry, I got the flu. Well, that's real great. I mean, we don't deal with that every day like they do. And I was thinking, you know, is there any way we could get some plexiglass, a little slot under it, make it look nice in there? I think a lot of places do that, and just for a protective barrier for them. And I think we should get some estimates on it and check it out.
I can say this, that I know that every business office and private business in town deals with the same thing every day. You know, every insurance office, every bank, every place you go, you don't have a shield in between you and your customer. And I don't think that there's the volume of business they do there, even though they may consider it a lot, is certainly not as much as, say, a Farm Bureau or the banks.
Okay, just because they don't, does that mean we don't have to?
Well, just because we're spending public money, means we do, but.
I'm not saying that either.
I know those
I'm
businesses
not saying
don't
that either.
isolate themselves when you walk into their reception area.
They don't. Well, I mean, at banks, you got to protect the barrier.
They don't, no, you do. Where?
I mean, when you're going to the drive-through, you're going to the drive-through.
Oh, okay, drive-through. Got bulletproof glass, too.
I'm just saying, I care about the employees, you may not, but I care.
Whoa, man, he talking
I
about
care
whether or
about-
not we're gonna, doesn't mean I don't care about human beings.
I care about them, it's not just this time of the year, not just this time of the year, I'm sorry, Mike, I shouldn't have said that. I'm just saying that, not just for this COVID thing, I'm talking about all year round. And I don't see why we shouldn't look at it and see what the cost would be. She was all for it upstairs, Jamie was, just putting in a window there and locking the door like on jury days and stuff like that because of the traffic through there. And she said that just for a safety reason. And all she'd want is just one glass window with a little hole in it, so if somebody came up there, they can slide their stuff through it. So, it's just, it's a thought, you know, and it's not just for this, it's for all year round.
We put it there at the office in a little room right before you get into the office. A little box on the door so that the mail can put all the mail in there. And then we handle it, when we handle it, we're wearing gloves to do it.
Well, let's give that a little study out, and I'm not so opposed to something like that. I can see where it'd be easy accomplished in some places and not very easy accomplished. in
Right,
others.
right. I think in Jamie's and the tax office it would be, hers would be a totally different story.
I don't have any problems at all with researching that a little bit or getting some more information.
Right, and that's what I was thinking.
Something.
Because we don't have prices, we don't have nothing, but it was just something that I think we should look at. You know, if we want to, we do, if we don't, we don't, but.
I don't know how many germs it's gonna hold off because
They're gonna go home tonight.
they're gonna have to have something to, so you know, some of those folks gonna be kinda like me. It's kinda hard to have to turn the hearing aids up right to the maximum volume just to hear more areas, so.
I understand that.
So there'll have to be some kind of pass-through voice apparatus.
Yeah.
May or may not deflect germs or anything like that, but everything else will be open around it, so germs gonna be there. So, I think that we can look at it. You know, I don't know, we may be able to make that. I can see the possibility of courthouse security issue, partly. So, we can look at it.
I mean, the tax office deals with more money than anybody here. They take on more cash.
Who's gonna sanitize the money?
Well, that's in the world.
Exactly.
It's up.
He's wiping it.
I think I'm gonna voice mine, and I usually don't, but you've gotta remember that paper carries germs for 3 days.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of paperwork that goes through the tax office, and there's a lot of paper that goes through my office that we don't know where to be.
Right.
But there's nothing I can
Like they say on money, you can find drugs on any kind of bill that you have in your
Out of
pocket.
your hands for all you can do.
do. And your hands are gonna get dry,
If you walk by the dog, it makes sense.
There you go. But I was talking to the girls and, you know, I just thought I'd bring this up and give us something to ponder on.
We'll study that. I don't have any problem studying
Yeah.
it.
Works for me.
If you need some gloves, let me know.
Yeah.
but I'm not doing, I talked to the girls, they don't want me.
All right. Because you'd have to change them every time, I think, wouldn't you? I guess.
We just use a lot of hand sanitizer.
Or since you got it right now. You can buy some on Black Market.
You know,
We'll be running.
we're living in a world that doesn't hug each other now. Can you imagine what we're gonna be like when we come out the backside of this thing?
We're all gonna be on.
Call me.
We'll call that no action on item number 8, pending further investigation. How about that?
That works.
We disposed of number 9. Number 10, discuss, consider road crossing permits from Brazos Telephone And they're all in precinct 2, it looks like, Judges Road, Belknap Circle, Thompson Road, Bullock Road, Belknap Circle, and Bullnell Road. I think Bullnell's a private road. isn't it?
And it is a private road, I thought that too. Bull Nettle is, so I said we're good with all of that except for Bull Nettle. That's, I said I'm good with all of that except for Bull Nettle.
Well, they're crossing Belknap Road
Yeah.
to go to
No,
Bull.
because Belknap's in.
Right, Belknap, and it says Belknap and Bull Nettle.
Yeah,
So,
the boards there on Belknap though.
but it's when we cross Bull Nettle.
No, yeah.
I'm good with it anyway, so move.
They're generally boring all those anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You might want to request boring on those hard top roads.
Absolutely.
You got a second on that? I'll second.
We already, motion, Commissioner Pruitt, second by
Rogers.
Roger. Bore on the permits, waiting to see.
Yes, sir. Go once down.
All in favor?
Who's five?
5-0. Okay, how about burn restrictions?
Pretty great.
Everything
Pretty
green.
great. Pretty great.
I don't think we're in great danger right now. That gets pretty hot for it burning. I don't think it'll do great, or I feel a little good.
I've tried to burn piles and it just, I mean, gasoline and diesel, it just isn't gonna burn.
Okay, is there anything we have disposed of here? Is there any other, oh, I've got one more thing here, it's a non-action, it's just information. We have received $2,940 refund from workers' compensation insurance.
Good.
Just for a positive note there. Cool. Got that up. Those comments.
What you'll just issue in shelter, Mayor did. Who did? Waco.
Are they doing is the courthouse doing abbreviated hours also?
So it's 10 to 3.
It
Posted on the door then.
Yes, sir.
See their tax office on
Yeah, if you look at that I-35 corridor on the grass, that's where it all is.
Sure, it's
It starts
population
from the house, it goes all the way
Harris
along.
County all the way.
My microbiology course was 1971, but it still holds true.
He had at least 10.
there.
Kyle Deaver, his name, the mayor there at Waco.
Did you see that?
Totally uneducated here.
Left his quarantine,
Right.
APB, sorry, I will put out. Yeah.
Thank you for that, Russ.
They still make that.
Here we go, you already like my wife. You started.
You can start.
Okay, without any further, is there anything else that you like to discuss? Address? Or, item 12? We ready to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
All good?
Yes, sir.
All in favor?
Thank y'all for doing what? I've got this, I'm telling you. I know people look at me and shake their head.
Only the first one.
And if the newspaper can, help us with information, Young County doesn't have a Facebook page. If somebody knows somebody that can, I would do it, but I'm just a little overwhelmed right now. But I'm posting things on mine, and see the Newcastle Facebook page, because people are hungry for information.
And we're putting stories out, we're getting
Yes.
information, and we're putting the full stories on the websites where you don't gotta pay for the
I've
PDF
tried,
for them.
I've tried to get in touch with radio, and they're closed, or they don't answer the phones, and I was like, okay, so.
Saturday, we had probably 7, 8 stories, all COVID related, so we're getting it out as we get it.
Be positive.
It's all free to access online.
People I shake hands with?
That's why I want to fit.
Yeah, use it
How many people I
once.
hug?
Oh, I'm a hugger.
Me too.
You know, how many-
Are you gonna be after this?
Yes, yes.
I'm afraid, I hope that you will be. How about the people you hug? What will they be?
There's less than 10, Jay.
Us count. And we talk all about it anyway.
Yeah. You're-
Are you the other way through, April, like that?
I was just, right now, I've got the office closed for Frankie, I got two new girls down there doing it, and stuff.
Is there a lot of people? Is there a whole lot of people right now?
No, we had 2 people come in last week.
They must have really made them mad. It was a POP, wasn't it?
Oh, there's just 2 people come in and pay something that they got property wrong with us.
Jimmy, you done?
You agree, you drink, here.
My thinking.
I'm pretty proud.
I can't.
Yeah.
Well, you got a couple more weeks.
Thank you.
Hey, see Mike's up.
Yeah, it was really nice meeting. Some of them sure
Yeah.
had a good time. We went back Sunday morning, we found one